What nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today's Anime Nerdigan live reaction video is going to be for Shokugeki no Soma, Season 3, Episode 7, titled The Crumbling Academy, which has the same title as the chapter we are adapting this week, which is chapter 139 of the manga. So, I might be going a little bit more in depth this week, because I could actually relate this chapter / this episode to real life a lot. So, yeah. And you nerdigans might get a government lesson today. So, there you go. Anyway, so I like how the beginning of this episode starts off. I really do. I like the shot that we get that's different in the anime compared to the manga is the shots that we get of Rindao, of Tsukasa, and of Aizen before Azami's speech is about to kick off. And then you know, Azami introduces himself, and then it goes into the opening song, which I thought was really appropriate. But this is where I'm going to get into my little government lecture. But first, I got to talk about this. This was skipped. I don't know what kind of reforms he has in mind, but yeah, I'll never do as he says. That was skipped. But I want to talk about this first reform, and then I will tell you what. Then I will get into this little bit of a government lesson. So the first concerns the cooking lessons, seminars, research societies, association, and all other kinds of self-governing bodies currently existing in the academy. They will all be disbanded, or they will all be dissolved, excuse me. They will all be voided. The research societies and the seminar system are hereby completely abolished. This part was here, but there's parts skipped, and I'm gonna read the part that was skipped, and then I'll give you my analysis, give you my thoughts. But here we go. What the fuck was there? This part was skipped. Don't screw with us. What is that about? This was approved at the Elite 10 regular meeting a few days ago, which you should have shown in the fucking first place! You skipped that! And that annoys me. You'll receive notifications starting today, so please cooperate with us. Wait, Degawasu, the research societies are places where the students have preserved traditions and kept polishing themselves, and you're abolishing them? So here's the thing. What Tsutsuki Academy has been in as, Gubayashi Kiyoshi points out here, and this is on page 7, by the way, of chapter 139, is that Tsutsuki Academy is like a free market capitalist society. And it works for Tsutsuki. But what Azami is trying to do is enforce this like communistic style reform, like full government control on Tsutsuki, and by doing that, this is especially by getting rid of the free market capitalism, because I'll get to it more in depth with the second reform, but it's just, and I don't care what you liberals tell me, or what you motherfuckers will tell you, and what your professors tell you in the colleges. I'm sorry, this ain't far right shit. Far right shit, which extreme far right is anarchy, which is no government at all. No, this is far left shit. Because what the far left wants, if you know your systems of government, you have your center, right? Then you have classic liberalism. Then you have liberalism. Then you have socialism. Then you have communism. Then you have what's the next step after that? I would say, yeah, fascism would be after communism, and then you would have like authoritarian / totalitarianism kind of thing. And what Azami is trying to do is take Tsutsuki from like free market capitalism and is slowly taking it, like where we're at in the manga right now. I would say it's definitely leaning towards like fascism kind of thing. Right now, right where we're at in the anime, it's more like a communistic style, socialistic, communistic style kind of style of government. I'm very curious what you nerdigans think in particular. But I want to talk about this shot in the 3-minute, 48-second mark. But I'm sorry, this part was skipped as well. That is nothing but an insult to Totsuki's Academy's history itself, did Gawasu. That part was skipped. I almost forgot that. And then here's the thing, and this is in regards to the second reform. And I gotta complain about this because I'm really annoyed about the anime skipping this meeting in particular. And I'm hoping at some point it will show it. It was supposed to be shown last week, but they didn't show it. Here's the thing. And this was all because they were trying to do too much, show too much content, or cover too much content last week. Which, I'm sorry, Shokugeki no Soma, I don't understand why, because I looked it up. We're getting 22 episodes, like 22, 24 episodes this season, so there's really no reason why for you to even skip content, but whatever. Anyway, so let me read this part and then I'll talk about the shot in particular. And the second concerns the creation of a new organization within the Academy. An organization with the director and the Elite 10 Council at its head. Congregation of students handpicked by me, an elite organization which will pursue the creation of new gourmet food, a world of gods where all delicates will be shared. Well, here's where I got a problem with it, and this is at the 3-minute 48-second mark, and I got a really big problem with this, and this is why I wish they would have shown the meeting. Here's the thing. Notice Kuka-senpai is not, my boy Kuka-senpai is not in this shot. And also notice, there's one other one. Hold on a second. Megashima isn't in this shot either. Megashima isn't here either. But Ashiki is. For those that are caught up in the manga, and you know why? Because they rebelled. But Ashiki should not be in this shot. Like, maybe because Ashiki is spying on them a little longer, maybe that's why he's in this shot. But Kuga-senpai and Megashima are already gone. That's why I wish they would have shown the meeting to so, yeah. For, like, the anime onlys in particular, to clarify why Kuga and Megashima are not in the shot. But from what I remember, I believe Ishiki is still spying on them, and that's why he's there. But in the manga, he is definitely not in the shot. But I think he got kicked out of the Elite 10, if I remember correctly. Let me know in the comment section below. But the shot, that's like that's one other thing I wanted to point out. But like the thing that don't you think that's interesting though? How doesn't that sound like extremely communistic? It does. It sounds extremely communistic to me. That's the thing, like this plan that Izami has in store for Totsuki. I'm sorry, gotta make a correction. I noticed, because I rewatched that shot, I saw Kuga and Megashima there. Okay, anime. They're not supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be there. Megashima and Kuga are not supposed to be there. But I guess that's what happens when, and same with Ishiki. But that's what happens when you don't show a certain meeting. But I digress. So I'm gonna read what in the manga here, the manga dialogue here. But it's basically the same, just about the same as the anime. What Izami here says about Central. I'll temporarily denominated as Central. The food you'll make from now on will be decided by the members of Central. You don't need to create dishes anymore. Nonsense, that's ridiculous, was skipped. This part was completely skipped, by the way. Who would obey such a thing? It's terribly regrettable, but anyone who disobeys will be asked to leave this academy. Okay, am I the only one that thinks that this is starting to sound a little bit more on the fascist side of things. So we went from being a free market capitalistic academy to like a social, like a communistic academy to now a fascist academy. Don't you think so, AG? Am I the only one that thinks this? I'm very curious, but like, I just think it's fascinating that, and I didn't realize it until analyzing this episode. It's like, damn, if you really gotta think about it, how interesting that, how a manga about cooking is like going in depth about government. Like, I see what you did there. And it's ridiculous stuff was there. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Okay, I want to see, because I'm not liking the writing for this portion of this dialogue, but I'm gonna wait and see what Azami says here. Okay, so I want you guys to pay attention to one particular part of this dialogue right here. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I want you guys to, there's one part that I want you to pay attention to. Everyone, I'm going to read this whole part thing right here. All cooking classes from now on are places to convey the Central's teachings. Everyone can receive its benefits equally. You know, who is all about those equal benefits now? Yeah, that sounds like liberals. I'm telling you, Azami is a communist dictator. He is a communist dictator. You cannot deny this shit. He is a communist dictator. He fucking is. He is a communist dictator. Well, I'm leaning towards more of a fascist dictator, but he is I think he, you know what? We could probably say Azami might be Hitler in some ways, but that might be pushing it. But the thing is that the thing is with communism, and if you've studied history, especially like history of communism, you've learned that you know that if the government interferes in the private sector, and you've noticed it here with so much government interference in the private sector, there's not a lot of innovation. Like, that's what happens. Like, if it wasn't for free market capitalism, you wouldn't be having your iPhones and shit. Nerdigans, just keep that in mind for those that are pro socialism and communism. I hope, like, for those that are like indoctrinated in the college and academia, liberal academia right now, I hope this manga and this anime make you rethink that shit, because that's what your communism looks like. And this is where it really sounds communistic right here. Is here. That's a world without useless confrontations, without needless expulsions, without needless classifications, without needless competition. It's then when you'll all become free. No, you are full of shit, Azami. That's when you become enslaved to the government, or in this case, enslaved to you, Azami. Just like how Irina was enslaved to you. So don't give me that. So, yeah, I'm very curious what you guys think about that. And speaking of the, what the anime chose to put for that specific set of dialogue, I really like that. That was good stuff, anime. Like, with the, like, if you watch that particular portion of the anime, I really like the animation selected. Like, good stuff. Like, this is awesome. And especially, I'm talking about like at the 5-minute 2-second mark when you see that you will be free, all be free of them. I really, really love that animation right here. Like, damn. Shokugeki no Soma, are you trying to be March comes in like a lion right now? Like, damn. Azami, listen to me, bro. Without innovation, without free market capitalism, without freedom to innovate, you can't advance the country's hold on a second. Let me let me read his words. You can't improve the country's gourmet food without experimentation. And the way you want shit to be done, you're not going to achieve your goal, bro. And I'm glad in the manga it says such who said it here? Hopefully it's gonna be in the manga. But I love that Toyama says such tyrannical actions can't be tolerated. Thank you, Toyama, for saying that. Hopefully it's gonna be in the anime. Yay! Thank you, anime, for having this. Thank you for having Toyama's for his dialogue. Thank you. But what sucks about this whole thing is, like, how can you know, and this is what, and I love this debate that's going on in here too, is that like, it's the same thing with communism in general. Communism sounds so good on paper. It does, but it never works in execution, because of human nature. And it's the same thing in this case. Just saying. And the content that's like on page 16, that was in last week's episode, so I was wondering where it was. But yeah, on page 16 and page 17, that was definitely in last week's episode. So I'm actually fine with you know what? I'm happy that was in last week's episode. So good, anime, good job with placement in regards to that. But I'm still not happy that the meeting isn't here. So that should have been in last week's episode too. But pages 16 and 17, for those that are wondering, if you're following along in the manga, because I forgot to mention it, we're in last week's episode. So at the 6-minute 30-second mark is when we finish chapter 139. But I want to read what Aizen says here, because I feel like it's important, which is, as the only dorm in the academy, it's separated from the corporate body of Totsuki Academy about 20 years ago. It has maintained independent profitability until today. It's undisputably a target of the purge. You see what I mean by that communism that I'm talking about here? But, now we're getting to chapter 140. I'm sorry this video is going to have a really long runtime, but I really feel like this is so important to talk about, especially with all the shit that's going on right now. And I feel like this is, especially since there's so many people are in liberal academia being indoctrinated, especially my generation, or I should say I was born in 89. I don't know if millennials, I think I'm considered part of the millennial generation. If I am, I feel really bad because I'm embarrassed for my generation. But my point is that I feel like, as I said at the beginning of this video, I really want to take this opportunity to apply, like, real world issues, like real life lessons, like especially with government to this manga, because I feel like that's what Shokugeki no Soma is trying to teach us, surprisingly. But anyway, now let's get to in regards to 139. I don't like that there were some parts skipped, and what would have made this episode a lot better for me is if we would have started off the beginning of the episode. I have to mention it because it's really pissing me off. Is if we would have started the episode with the student council meeting, or if we would have started the episode with the dystopian meeting that was at the end of last week's episode, and ended it with the student council meeting last week. That would have been fine too. But I'm annoyed that we don't have the student council shit. That really bothers me. This part was skipped. Here you go. Be careful, it's hot. No, thanks, I guess. Don't just stand there, sit. Oh, right, Aizen-senpai. Didn't you say a while ago that you were gonna crush me? When do you think you'll be coming for me? Soma's the only one who remains clueless. Irina-chi, go hide in the bedrooms for now. Just wait there quietly until we come and get you, Nikiri-san. Okay. That part was completely skipped. Why? Why? Why would you skip that? Like, oh my god. I'm to read this right here from the manga dialogue, because I feel like this is important, and it's in the anime, but it's important. Having an autonomous organization within the school outside of Central's control is a problem. See that communism there, yo. Yes, we are going to challenge Aizen to Shokugeki to save the Polar Star Dorm. Yeah, bitch! Revolution! But this part was skipped, which was, that means if we can just win against Aizen Senpai, was skipped. So, yeah, Aizen's getting challenged a lot, but we're going to see one of Aizen's Shokugekis. But don't you think it's interesting that we still could have Shokugekis to challenge the Elite Ten, but Central's supposed to control everything else? Like, don't you think that's kind of weird? This is major hacks, and what's going on in here about, you know, what Aizen's doing? This corruption that's going on. This is what happens in socialist governments and in communist governments all the time, especially with elections and shit. Just saying. The Shokugeki is dead. The Shokugeki is dead thanks to corruption. Well, that's what you think, asshole. That's what you motherfuckers think until this current arc, unless you're in the current arc of the manga, then you know the Shokugeki is not dead. It is not completely hopeless. That's what you think now, Aizen Senpai. You think, especially since you, I'm sorry, I gotta spoil the manga because it just makes me feel so good to say it. Especially since your ass got out-trolled by, Takumi. Oh, man! Oh, how Aizen Senpai's ass got out-trolled by Takumi. You think you're Bleach fans, you gotta love the irony that Aizen, someone named, a troll named Aizen got out-trolled by Aldini. Oh, man. I'm sorry I spoiled the manga, but fuck, you already need to go read the manga. And for those that are curious, yes, I cover the manga on my channel every week. So, yeah, you could go check out those videos. But anyway. We finished up chapter 140. 140 was done very nicely. Good stuff. I love how you said how they animated like the ship for the Shokugeki is dead and like show the dissolve of the Japanese character for the Shokugeki. That was really cool. Oh, and that's at the 12-minute 12-second mark is where chapter 140 ends, and we're going into chapter 141. Okay, I need to make a correction. So there was, it jumped a little bit to chapter 141 and then jumped back to chapter 140. But yeah, but this part was definitely skipped from chapter 141. Hold on a second, let me get to this real quick. Which was page, and I actually liked how they changed the order and how they like showed like the judges are our enemies and then did the Shokugeki is dead. I actually like that more. So anime, you get props for that. But this was skipped. Good work. I'm grateful to you all for playing along with that farce. I'll make sure you all are all suitably compensated. We strongly approve of Central's ideas. It seems that there are many others who feel the same way. If it's for the stability of the Izami administration, we'll spare no effort. What a splendid sentiment. You can't possibly have a fair match if they're not even going to bother tasting it, which means that, oh, I'm sorry, that part was there. Let's see. Here we go. This is just so fucked up how Izami is running this shit. Like, it's really, it's getting extremely fascist. It really is. But this part was skipped. The dissolution of research and research societies and seminars continued. Already, countless research societies have vanished from the school. Gotta love communism. Liberals, for those for those of you that still believe in communism after You read this manga, you guys are fucking nuts. This was skipped as well, like, the narration was skipped, but, like, with the help of the sham Shokugeki, the reformation was carried out swiftly by order of the new, administration. Like, I kind of wish the narration was here, because it would help, like, I think it would help the anime onlys, like, get a better understanding of, like, I don't know, like, I feel like yes, I know it's not a week-to-week thing, like you're not getting this content, like, next week, like we were in the manga, but I feel like the narration should be here, because, like, you have the narration in other parts of the episode, so why not here, too? Just saying. So, we're not gonna get the shit about Shiki-senpai. So, this part was skipped. No, the biggest surprise was the Shiki, senpai shooting off ahead. Oh, that's probably true, huh? That was the first thing I saw when I came to this dorm, him in his apron naked. When I was told I shouldn't enter this dorm, I was worried for a moment. I've gotten used to it now, though. Naked apron? What is this naked apron they speak of? Let's see. I liked the memories and shit. It's really cool that they're showing this, but you kind of forgot this, too. Do you remember when, Ibusaki, decided to make smoking room number 1? Yeah, I do. He started a small fire and Fumio was in a rage. Like, I keep telling you guys, I've cut down on those incidents, right? But they haven't stopped. I wish, like, they would have shown, like, the little flashbacks of that. I would have loved to seen the Ishiki-senpai shit. That would have been so funny. This isn't fair. Like, anime! You've been doing so goddamn well, but, like, it's annoying. This part was skipped. Even though you have your own little shop back home, you're not satisfied, huh? Like, what the fuck? Why would you not mention that? Aizen in the anime, but I'm really annoyed. Like, that the anime, like, cuts, like, little details like that. But I'm really annoyed about not having the Ishiki content. But Soma's not doing this out of, courage and, he's saying, Aizen says there's a difference between courage and sheer recklessness. But, like, the thing is Soma doesn't give a fuck. Soma's doing this because he believes it's the right thing to do. Soma can't stand by and watch this happen. He can't watch what his father, his father was here and he loved it here. He can't watch what his father was here for. His father, worked hard for. He can't watch that fall apart either. But anyway, and I love it that even Yukihara says, I'm not doing it for the dorm. I'm doing it for me. Fuck them. I don't care. I'm doing it out of principle for myself. Because this is what I believe in. I believe we should have the right to be able to cook what we want, how we want. Like, fuck your rules. Fuck your regulations. Yeah. Soma is a libertarian. I love you, Soma. Is it just me, or is it in this scene in particular, Soma's hair is a little shorter than it's supposed to be? Like, because in the manga, his hair's like big. It's a little bit more poofier. But in the anime, like, it looks a little shorter. But maybe it's just, I don't know if it's just me. Let me know in the comment section. And now, at the 18-minute, 28-second mark, or 27-second mark, we are going into chapter 142. So what did I think of chapter 141? I liked the majority of chapter 141's adaptation. I liked it. I just did not like that we didn't have the Ishiki-senpai content. Like, what the fuck? I really wanted to see, like, the flashbacks we would have had of Ishiki. Like, that shit would have been so funny, but no. The other thing that's been bothering me is that I feel like the anime is trying to take itself too seriously. And yes, I know this portion of the manga is very serious. I'm not gonna lie, but also, that's why there's something called comedy in it to, take it down a little bit. This part was skipped, which was Yukihara, that guy, because he knew it would, hold on a second. I need to make sure. I might be wrong. Okay, that part was there. But he's not supposed... Oh my god. Really? 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 Shun, you're not supposed to be like, you're supposed to be like separated from everybody, but whatever. I can't bitch too much about it. So I understand why the anime cut off Aizen's explanation about the Jidori chicken, because of timing. So yeah, I'm gonna read it anyway though. Which was, Satsuma Jidori, like the Nagoya Chochin and Hinai Jidori, is one of Japan's 3 greatest Jidori chicken breads. With a characteristic mouthfeel and just the right amount of fattiness, its flavor is exquisite. Bred since the Edo period, the Satsuma Jidori is a specimen finely honed through generations of selective breeding and of the Satsuma Dori, and notable even compared to others in its class. It's top notch. I highly doubt a poor chef such as yourself has ever handled it before. And I think this part was skipped as well. Okay, yeah. It says Satsuma chicken, but it's Jidori chicken. But, oh, okay, it was Satsuma Jidori. All right. Okay, just wanted to make sure. But, that was correct, but the full explanation isn't here, as I said, and I read that, so yeah, just wanted to confirm that. Riddell, I love you, but anime, you skip, and this is why I wish you would have shown the meetings, but this part was skipped. And I feel like it's important because Kuga is going to be a rebel, which is this. Even so, that goddamn Kuga still hasn't shown up. And on top of that, there's you with all the Shokugeki nonsense. Thanks to that, all of Aizen's works got handed off to me. Stop doing stuff without realizing how much trouble you're causing everyone else. Then why are you here, Rendell? I gotta read this because I love it. Because I gave all my work to Tsukasa. Kuga's portion, Aizen's portion, Rendell's portion. Like, poor Tsukasa. Like, he's doing all this paperwork. Well, anyway, we still have a while, before the Shokugeki begins, so if you need to make preparations, I'll allow you to do so. Thanks. And then, that's when, Soma says that he'll be borrowing the kitchen and all that jazz. Oh, my apologies for, calling upon you so frequently was, skipped. Sorry, but did you think I wouldn't get another chance to break him, was skipped? Here we go. The evil look on Aizen's face at the 22-minute 7-second mark is so perfect. Good job, anime. Good job. Oh my god! The placement of the ending of this episode was really good. I really like the placement of the ending of this episode. Consider the thing is though that I'm really bothered by. The only thing that bothers me with this with the pacing that's going on here, I feel, and I said it last week, but I definitely feel it this week. Anime, I feel like you're trying to put way too much content in this in an episode, and I feel like Shokugeki no Soma is trying to be like a 12 episode season when it's a 22 episode season, and it's really kind of annoying me a little bit. The thing is, and I gotta mention Black Clover here because I did a live reaction for Black Clover. Something I gotta give props to Black Clover with is that even though it's like a 51 episode season, and the pacing is actually pretty goddamn good. And there's another anime I'm watching that has a lot of episodes that's pretty goddamn good on the pacing. And what episode? Oh, and I gotta tell, I wish Shokugeki no Soma was more like March Comes In Like a Lion when it comes to pacing. Because right now, I feel like, and maybe I'm being just a bit paranoid, but I'm concerned that the pacing for Shokugeki no Soma is going to just is gonna get really fast because where Shokugeki no Soma wants to go this season. I have a feeling it wants to get to the exam portion. I got a feeling by the time the season's over, because we're doing 3 chapters an episode. Let's see. I think we'll probably end up if we end up by chapter 200 by the end of this season, it would not surprise me. I got a feeling the end of the season is going to be at the Regimental de Shokugeki. That's where I'm thinking this season's going. That's just my thought on that. But I'm worried I'm really getting concerned pacing-wise. Like, if it was like 2 chapters an episode, 2 or 3 chapters an episode, fine. But, like, there's things that I really, really can't stand that were taken out because they were trying to put so much content in here. Like the stuff with Kuga. Why would you not have any of the Kuga content here? Especially, like, why would you not even have the meeting? Especially in last episode. Like, that is really starting to piss me off. Because that's really important, because that's setting up especially that meeting in the chapter, and that particular chapter setup is, like, the shit for the rebels from the Elite 10. So, as excited as I am, this episode was actually not bad considering how many chapters it adapted. I'm not gonna lie, but it could have been a lot better. I feel like they did way too much, and I feel like that, like, if the episode would have ended at the death of the Shokugeki, that would have been freaking awesome. Or at, like, just challenging Aizen, that would have been a lot better. I feel like we should have ended at chapter, because we did one, so we adapted basically chapters 139 through about the end of 142. I think if we stopped maybe at 141. Yeah, if we would have stopped maybe, like, at the end, if we would have stopped at the end, if we would have just adapted chapters 139 through 141, I think this episode would have been a lot better. But that's just my opinion. But I'm very curious what you guys think. Are you guys worried about pacing like I am? Are you guys, especially the manga nerdigans, are you guys kind of pissed that they didn't include, like, the fact that Kuga hasn't been at meetings? Are you guys kind of annoyed that they didn't even include the meeting? Like, come on. Anyway, hopefully they will at some point, but I honestly doubt it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdigans Inc. If you love what I'm doing and want to contribute to my channel expansion, there is a few ways you could do that. You could donate to my PayPal, Patreon, or purchase something off my Amazon wishlist. All that's in the description box below. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter, follow my Twitch channel, friend me on PlayStation Network. All that's in the description box below as well. And until next time, Nerdigans, I'll be seeing you later.